Welcome to the Ladies Enrichment and Entrepreneurs Club show, where we promote women all over the world to help them to grow their business and personal life. Today we have a life coach as a guest with us, Nikki, and she is a Scottish life coach based in Dubai and a mum of an awesome little boy, wife of the most patient man, she says, on earth. And she's here to help you transition into parenthood. Hello, Nikki. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Zelda. Thank you for having me.
That's a pleasure. You can add a little bit more about yourself for the introduction.
So as you said, I am Scottish and currently in Dubai, but I have previously lived in Jakarta, Indonesia, and then I was in Tivat, Montenegro. So seen a little bit of the world as well and been living this expat journey for a while. My husband is from Buffalo, New York. So we are still uncertain as to which accent our son is going to take on.
Oh my goodness. No, that's the thing. Okay, so I'm very happy to introduce you as our talk of today, our life coach that's going to give some advice to us. Tell me, why did you choose, Nikki, to go into life coaching? And maybe you can just give us a general overview of what you are doing.
Yeah, no problem. So I started studying as a life coach after I had my son. He was born in 2017 and I suffered from postnatal depression for probably around 18 months, which was a massive, I was blindsided because I waited a long time to have my son. I was 40 when I got pregnant, so it was like winning the lottery. It was like everything had just came into place and we lived in a beautiful town at that time. So there was no expectation of postnatal depression being an issue. I just didn't consider it. During that time, I guess I pretended that it didn't exist. And it wasn't all bad. You had times you were okay, and I thought, okay, that's it, we're done. And it wasn't. It would sneak back in. So after 18 months, I finally reached out. I finally admitted something was wrong. And one of the elements of my recovery was a life coach. Previous to that, I always thought life coaching was a bit airy-fairy, but woohoo. And it's amazing how much I love it now that I've actually been learning myself. So when Archie was 18 months, I started studying because I couldn't let those 18 months be in vain. I couldn't walk away from that and not pass on to other families the little tips and things that could actually help them. Because I think it's still so common. I feel that, when you sit and have conversations with people, it's like, oh yeah, my friend had that, or I had that, and it still exists. It's still out there. So I want to help as many people as I can through talking therapy and also through an online guide that I created. The reason that came about was that when you're in the midst of a depression, it's very difficult to reach out and talk to someone. So I felt that the guide was a really good starting point because people can do it from home at their own pace. They don't have pressure or accountability from a coach, when they're not at that stage yet. So the guide has 10 practical steps. It's not medical, it doesn't replace medical help, but it just reminds you of things that you have to consider. And when I look back on my time when I was feeling depressed, it now seems really obvious. Why? you know, and I think if I just knew then what I do now, I could have helped myself. So everything that I'm doing is for me 4 years ago. You know, everything that I do, that is what is in mind. Even down to the pricing of the online guide. I've had business coaches tell me you should mark it up. It's, you know, you should be putting more on that, more value. But my heart is telling me that when you're at home with a baby, normally you're down on your finances, down to one salary. You're already overwhelmed. So
yes, that's true.
You wouldn't necessarily have the access to that disposable cash to invest in something that's expensive. So for me, I want this to be accessible to families all over the world. You know, I don't want it to be out of reach or only for those who have financial help behind them. I want this accessible for everyone. That is the point in it. So I'm running with my heart on that one, and I'm keeping it at that price.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's what led me to where I am now. And it's a lifestyle now. It's not a job. This is not a job. This is not work. This is what I do now.
That is really a very nice story, life lesson that you've learned, and you want to pass it on to people. And you really, what I like about the whole thing is you are true and genuine in what you do and how you want to support women with this type of depression, because there's a lot of women suffering, you know,
for transparency, this is not a claim to turn everyone into Mary Poppins. You know, life is life, and I also still have bad days. The difference is that the bad days that used to keep me down for a longer period of time, I now have tools and understanding that I don't stay there anymore. You know, I allow myself to have bad days and to have what we say are negative emotions, because that's life. You know, so if anyone is claiming that they can make you happy every day in life, put your trainers on and run away, because that is not real, you know. But, you know, anything that I do claim or that I share with you are things that I do myself, you know, so that I can genuinely say, yes, this worked for me. You know, we all have different.
Yeah, you've tasted the product, you know it's working, and you give it to other people. And that's so amazing, because I love the fact that you support women out there for lesser price, because that's exactly what we do with Ladies Enrichment Entrepreneurs Club. We support women for lesser. And I had the same story. I'm doing it because I've been through that time where I struggled with personal life, with business life, with health, everything. And I just decided I'm going to help women. I'm going to help support them and, raise them up and, help them to grow. And I feel we all should be actually doing that.
And effectively, you're supporting everyone. You know, we talk about women, but when you as a woman are feeling well and strong, that is then reflective in your relationships with your partner, with your children, you know, with your colleagues. So effectively, you're supporting everyone. You know, we're just starting at this point. You know, for me, I support foster parents, adopted parents. You know, it's not just birth mothers, it's the fathers, it's the siblings, whoever is in a household, you know, because these things have a ripple effect. So we're both doing that. We're both supporting everybody.
That's great. That's great. I'm going to share screen your, let me just open it up. I want to share screen your Instagram account. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, so this is Nikki's Instagram account. Take us through your Instagram. So what do we have
Okay.
here? We have the introduction here, and she's got some followers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nikki. And I would like
Yeah.
everybody that's watching this or listening to the podcast just to go on Nikki's Instagram and follow her and, you know, spread the word. Tell everybody
good
out
to
there.
see you. So yeah, we've got the link to the website, and we have our little bits and pieces. So the planners, those were just released this week. I am excited to say they are now available on Amazon, and that is a weekly schedule and meal planner. Those I just think are amazing tools. You know, I think we can all relate to every day in life going, what can we have for dinner? Plan it a week in advance, bang it up on there on your fridge, and you're good to go. It just helps release some of that headspace through your week. My husband and I do it every week. It's on my fridge every week, and planning your time. The podcast, that was the Bubbling Adventure, a gorgeous girl named Julie, and that was my first ever podcast.
Okay.
So there's another one due out soon, so watch this space. I recorded one last month that should be out soon. The Stepping into Parenthood, so that is the flyer for the online guide that I was referring to earlier. That's the 10-step guide. That's my baby. You know, I feel like that is the base for a lot of the work that I do.
Correct. You are on TikTok, right? This is a TikTok. You have
That's a TikTok, yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, I am not by any means a social media expert. So my Instagram is not full of reels or videos. And the reason for that is because I didn't feel they represented me. I know that in the business world and in the social media world, this is what you're being encouraged to do. But I didn't feel like it was genuine or authentic. So you know, everything that I do, I go with my gut. And sometimes that's going against what other people's opinions are. But that's how strongly I feel about my own decisions in my own life. Oh, that was Halloween when we've got all the masks on.
That's great fun. So your
Yeah.
Instagram is not just solely for business. People can also see a little bit about your personal life in here, I see.
Well, it is for business because everything that is, you know, it is. The business and the personal life are holding hands, you know, so it really is. It's gelled together. And I think that when you are looking for a coach, when you want someone to help you, you want to know who that person is. Yes. You know, not just a performance from a business aspect. You know, you want to know truly who that person is. So, you know, I am very transparent in having bad days or the things that help me or the things I find funny. You know, I share things that make me feel better. There's my dog. You know, he gets a cameo appearance. That's our dog. So yeah, the account is business, personal. It's all one, really. It's what you see is what you get.
I think it's great because people, when you're a life coach, you should also be able not to be shy to share your personal life as well. Yeah. You had past experiences, you are sharing that with your clients. You have family, you can share that somebody is going through a difficult life with their children. You have a child, you can share some advice. Yeah. That's great, Nikki. You know, I think
the expat, you know, I think living overseas, that in itself throws up these different elements. You know, there can be more isolation, the feeling of not having your roots, not sure where you should be living in this world. So, you know, I think all of these past experiences do reflect in my coaching, you know, because I've lived them. I've not just read about them. I've actually lived those things. So yeah, it's all personal, and that's why I'm doing it, you know.
Well, good luck with your life coaching. And I know that you went to a market, you told me about it. and you had a table and such nice think outside the box type of advertisement for you. Now I want to quickly move on to your long-term goals, Nikki. Where do you see yourself?
This is a journey for me now. This is my life. So I will always be learning. I love, finding out about other mentors, reading. In the last few years, because of my own personal development, it's amazing that the things that have changed in the sense of what I read, what I listen to. I previously had never listened to podcasts, and now they're a part of my life. So I'm always learning. So the long game is that I will always be coaching and trying to help other people. I would love for the course to reach as many people as I can around the world. And that was the beauty of doing something that was online, because that's the world we live in now. So I wanted something that was accessible wherever you are, not just if you live down the street from me, So yeah, I want to help as many families as I can. And I want there to be awareness and honesty surrounding when you become a parent. I do see different things in the media and they almost go one way or the other. It's almost like, well, you're a mother, but you're not just a mother, so you should run a business and do this and do this. Or you're a stay-at-home mum, well, you should be trying to run a business and do this and do this.
Yeah.
I want to promote as balance, and to be true to who you are as a parent. If you're a stay-at-home mum and you want to be a stay-at-home mum, by all means, that's what you do. You don't have to run an empire as well, but if you would like to run an empire, then figure it out so that you can meet that need.
Yes.
Balance, and it's staying true to yourself. And that's where I want to help people, because I think that's what gets lost. And I think we're so influenced by outside things on social media, the reels, the photographs, the things that portray lifestyles that actually aren't true. They're not true. They're only showing you these highlights, but you're not seeing the other parts that form that fabric of someone's life. No one's like
behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. So I want to promote balance. That is my purpose on this planet now, to help others find balance.
So true. Without balance, you feel lost. You're like floating in space and you don't know where you're going. And now you've given so much, to us, and why you do this, and you give advice. But what advice can you give to women out there that would like to start a coaching business, or you've been in other businesses as well before? So what advice can you give them? How to start, how just to focus and go into it?
Okay, so we could sit here all day, couldn't we? Talk about all the things, but I'll give you just a couple. One of my main things is organize your time. Start your day with a plan, write it down. It's cathartic. Write it, take a pen and some paper and block your time. What often happens is you start on one thing and then you get pulled into that. And for most of us, and I am also guilty of it, is when you go onto your social media, instead of just checking your messages or who you need to respond to, you have a little scroll and then you pop the kettle on and have a coffee, and you've lost an hour. And it's an hour that would be valuable. If you're trying, you've got to focus. So I think it's building a routine and a schedule that's comfortable. I'm not saying military precision, things will change, things will shift and move, but at least give yourself a starting point. I do it. I always schedule my time 5 days a week. The weekends, I fly by the seat of my pants, but 5 days a week, I'm like, okay, my first thing, my morning routine is super important, because that impacts how the rest of my day plays out. my mood, my clarity. So yeah, as I said, I could sit here all day and give you advice about what I think. So plan your time, plan your time. The other thing I would say is respond to people. You know, I find it amazing when you're in collaborations or you're emailing someone, or how many people just don't acknowledge. And I always respond to messages. I always, and again, block time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 1 hour a day where you say, okay, I'm going to respond to emails or messages, it may not be beneficial to your business, but just send a message and say, thank you for your time. You know, and I think that it creates that human connection again, because we are all behind computer screens just now. So maintain that human connection. Just acknowledge if someone is reaching out to you. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, because as I say, it's not a business. Plan your time. That's the most important thing, I think.
That's the most important. And if you have a planner that you can follow, you can also easily follow your goals, right? Because you can put a goal in there, like today I want to create a poster for my social media, and that could be your planner. Or today I want to work a little bit on advertising this. You know, that is now for if you do not have a help, a freelancer or an assistant, then you need to do that from the beginning. I also did that since 2008. LEC has been on under another name since 2008, but planner is so important. I totally agree with you, Nikki. Now,
and can I just add that if you're putting into your planner, sorry to jump back in again, but do not make that only a to-do list. You know, what I would advise is that you also put in time to have lunch, that you put in time to have coffee and have a Zoom chat with a member of your family. Don't only put in these achievements that you want to have that are work related. Make sure you're getting the balance.
Yes.
You know, so in my schedules, we have time allocated for ourselves. You know, my husband and I often have maybe once a week, I'll have an evening to myself, and I go to the mall and I have some food and I maybe go and watch a movie. You know, these things are all important too. So whilst you're planning your time, make sure that you've got that time balanced and that it's not over.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, we are totally on the same page here. Because without that balance, you're going to feel so maybe depressed. You're going to feel like I'm not achieving what I want to achieve. I'm not getting there. And you feel frustrated. And you go to bed in the evening and you think about your day and you're like, I didn't achieve anything today. But with a planner, even if you reached one or two of those things, you already feel like, wow, I did it. So
celebrate the small wins. Always celebrate the small wins. Don't focus on what you didn't do that day. Focus on what you did.
Yes, true. Very true. So I've already shared your Instagram, and we actually looked at your, let me just see. Yeah, your website is mentioned on there as well.
The link
in the bio. Just remind us again about all your social media accounts, where people can follow you.
Okay, so the website has access to Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram and Facebook you can find at the Scottish Soul Sister, and there's always photographs, so you'll see the shaved hair in those photos. The website is obviously where it all connects. Via the website you can access the online sessions, and if you click on the online guide, that will take you into stepping into parenthood. So that takes you to the online guide. So that's where it all is connected. I would say that Instagram and Facebook are the platforms that you find me on the most. I play with TikTok. I pop videos up there, but I'm definitely more Instagram and Facebook. So if anyone wants to reach out, I will respond to your message. But yeah, it'd be lovely to meet some of you.
Oh, that's great. No, I want to say thank you, Nikki, for your time. Thank you so much for sharing really good advice with everybody out there that's maybe going through a tough time now. Get in contact with Nikki, follow her, let's support her all over the world, and let's also support her beautiful planner she's got on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a lovely day, and
you
take care.
And you take care, Zelda. Bye.